Hey there everyone, it's Anthony back with another video here on AJK Beauty. Hi, hope everyone's doing well. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about some products that I've finished or I'm finished using that are kind of been done throughout the month of August. So a little bit of an August empties, a little bit of just kind of what is making its way out of my routine moving into September. So just some stuff that I'm pretty much ready to move on from for one reason or another. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. The first is the Ordinary Glucoside Foaming Cleanser. This was a decent cleanser, I must say. I was pleasantly surprised. My experience with the Ordinary and some of their other brands is pretty hit and miss, but this was a nice, lightweight foaming cleanser, very, very mild on my oily combination skin. I found that I did use a lot of the product faster than I normally would because the lather that it does create, the foam that it does create, is very gentle or mild and kind of watery. So in order to get like a dense, like nice lather, I found that I had to use a lot of this product per application or per use. So I didn't have to, but I like a nice lather. I like a little bit of a denser lather. So I found myself really, I think, overusing this product. But the nice thing is I never found it stripping. It left a little bit of moisture behind, which was kind of nice. So overall, a good cleanser, especially for the price. I don't know if I would necessarily come back to it right away, but it is on my list of, maybe something to try again or have on hand if I just need a gentle, non-irritating, a cleanser that doesn't have any sort of scrubbing action to it or AHA, BHA. If I need just a nice, just gentle, mildly hydrating water-based cleanser, this is definitely one to go for. I will say that it didn't power through sunscreen, so I always had to do a double cleanse in the PM, and I typically do that anyway, but if you're the type of person that likes to be a one and done or find that cleanser that can do it all, you might get away with washing your face twice with this one product, but I definitely needed a little bit something extra to get through the sunscreen. So there is that, the Ordinary Glucoside Foaming Cleanser, not too shabby. And then we have, unfortunately, we have the Peach Slices Oil Control Balancing Cleanser. There it is. This has niacinamide, zinc, pine bark, green tea. I didn't mention any key ingredients with the Ordinary one. It literally just is the surfactants, water, and preservatives. It's really straightforward. So this one has a little bit more oomph to it. It's got niacinamide, it's got, I think it's zinc PCA, it's got a pine bark extract, which is supposed to be anti-acne and help to control oil. And then it's got green tea extract in it, which can be a mildly astringent ingredient to help, once again, combat that greasiness that some people are trying to tackle. So I was lucky enough to get sent an entire Peach Slices oil control set. However, I had bought everything except the moisturizer, so I got the moisturizer from them, but now I have two of everything else. So I already had this cleanser on deck to try. It's one of their new releases, and their claim is deeply cleanse will absorb oil, refreshing and refining the skin while still not being stripping or too much. Unfortunately, even though this does list on the package that it is fragrance-free, there's eucalyptus essential oil in here, and they might be claiming that that's once again used to help target any excess oil or sebum or help to balance that, but at the end of the day, it's a fragrant essential oil and it imparts a decent amount of fragrance into this product. I found it rather strong, of that eucalyptus kind of mentholy scent, that kind of sometimes that kind of medicated scent that you expect to see from oil control or acne controlling products, which is a bummer because their acne cleanser that they also have does not have that added fragrance. And so over time, I used this for about a week, stopped using it, then worked it back into my routine to see if I was seeing the same thing, and unfortunately my skin just was left feeling a little bit flushed after using this, a little red, a little irritated, and to be honest, a little dry, a little too drying. It wasn't a complete stripping like high pH stripping cleanser. It's nowhere near that, but compared to especially something like the Ordinary cleanser, it is a little bit drying. So every time I finished using it, I'd get out of the shower or in the AM, finish at the sink, and my neck would just be a little bit splotchy and red. I don't know if it was the eucalyptus essential oil, but that is a fragrant oil that I do tend to not get along with. So unfortunately, I had to discontinue use of this one. I tried having it in my routine, let my skin calm back down, work it back in, and I saw that cycle of irritation. So unfortunately, this one is one that I only got to use for about a total of like 10 days with a break in between before I knew it wasn't right for me. So this might get moved to a body wash, see how my body does with this product. If not, I might be giving this to a friend or family member to see if it works better for them. But peach slices, it probably could be really awesome. Just get rid of that eucalyptus oil. That's all that's missing there. Okay, so moving on, we have a serum for you. And so this is the Rovectin Clean Forever Young Biome Ampule. And so this is an ampule that claims to provide some anti-aging property and barrier support properties through the use of pro and prebiotics. Essentially think of it as packed with fermented ingredients. Lactobacillus, ferment filtrate, Saccharomyces, ferment filtrate, a lot of those fermented ingredients that'll help not only bolster skin barrier or provide some skin barrier support, but are also known for their brightening and illuminating properties. I believe there's also a decent amount of niacinamide in this, if I can find the English. Niacinamide's fairly high on the ingredients list as well. You have some adenosine in here too. I'm sure there's some sodium hyaluronate sneaking around in here somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe not. Interesting. I don't think I see any sodium hyaluronate in here. Sodium phytate, I'm not familiar with that ingredient. There is a little bit of, is there some dimethicone in here? Yeah, so it's really heavily focused on fermented ingredients, which they say are supposed to help support the skin barrier, collagen function, all of that stuff. I found it to be a really nicely hydrating, really deeply hydrating product. Look at how awesome that bottle is though. I love the color. Deeply hydrating product while also providing some brightening and illuminating properties as well. I got through a little more than half of it, I suppose, in the month that I was using it. I was pretty heavy-handed with my application of it, so it's just kind of like a relatively kind of milky, slightly cloudy serum. I was pretty heavy-handed in my application of it, so this could definitely last someone a lot longer. I used it morning and evening most nights, and sometimes I'd even do kind of like a serum pack, so I'd do like a really heavy like layer of it, like a full pipette, and then put a sheet mask on top just to lock it, or just let that hydration sit on the skin. So I really like this. I found it to be non-irritating. It didn't seem to upset my skin in any way. I have fairly resilient skin, except when it comes to like a couple things, which we'll get to, but happy with it overall in that regard, and I liked the amount of hydration and brightening that it provided my skin. So this is a nice, just kind of straightforward serum. If you're looking for a decent amount of hydration, some nice brightening and illumination, a high concentration of fermented ingredients, this is a pretty good one. No fragrance, nothing like that. Very mild scent, absorbed nicely. It kind of has a little bit of that gelatinous feel, but then it kind of turns watery when you pat it in. So very happy with that one. All right, so next up we have a product that was a pretty quick miss for me, unfortunately, and it's the Skin Fix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. This is a very rich, dense, lipid, kind of occlusive cream from Skin Fix. And what's funny is I went back and took a look at some of my old reviews, and I really liked the Skin Fix Barrier Plus lotion, or their emulsion. It's more watery. That seemed to do well with my skin, but for whatever reason, some of these very dense, thick, heavy, occlusive moisturizers just do not play with my skin. And it's not even feeling like feeling stifled or feeling suffocated by them. They just react with my skin poorly. So I don't know if there's a particular occlusive or fatty like lipid ingredient that my skin doesn't play along with, whether it be a particular oil or something else. But this really, just kind of messed with my skin, unfortunately. So I use this in the PM to kind of lock everything in, and I have been liking some heavier moisturizers, but I think I'm learning it's pretty hit and miss. Apply this on, It takes a little while to absorb, which is expected, but it almost has like a waxy sheen that's left on the skin. Like I didn't feel like it absorbed completely. And then the next day I'm noticing some texture irregularities, blackheads or clogged pores that were what must have been flush with the skin start to look more raised, almost like a big breakout came out of nowhere, but I think it's just irritated, clogged pores. So I don't know if the hair follicle is getting irritated. And then I just noticed general, just kind of more apparent pores. Everything just looks a little inflamed. And then I do get a little cropping of usually some whiteheads randomly. And for whatever reason, they decided to appear right here on my neck today. So I was like, what is happening? So I'm not sure what it is. What's funny is the last time that I can remember this happening was with the product that has this similar pump top, and it was, I think, the Drunk Elephant like Proteini, another dense, rich cream, and for whatever reason, it did the same thing. My skin just looked inflamed and irritated. And so not necessarily red, but like just a lot of texture where there normally isn't texture, raised clogged pores, especially where I shave. Just like anything that might have been irritated just enhances that, unfortunately. So this was another product that I used for I think 2 or 3 nights in a row before I was like, what is going on my skin? Completely discontinued use. It took a couple weeks to get things back to normal, and I set this aside and I was like, let's see if it was this product, because it was either this or one other thing. I worked this back into my routine last night, and this morning I woke up and I could see that cycle starting again. So this is another one that I had to discontinue use. I'll show you what it looks like. It's kind of this pumped top here, and it's just a really dense, rich cream. And I'm not giving up on these textures of creams because I have found some thicker products that really do work well for me at night, and I feel like they actually really help my skin. But as you can see, well, keep in mind I have sunscreen on, but this is just one, it's just a little too much. I don't know if there's some sort of synthetic wax, or I don't know what it is. I honestly haven't figured it out. So it takes a little bit to absorb, but it's not, once it's in, it's not too much, and I could absolutely see those with dry skin loving it. But as someone with oily combination skin that's trying to get that kind of slugging, deep hydration, deep moisture, retain that, because I have seen some benefits from it, I think I just have to find the right heavy moisturizer for me, and this just unfortunately wasn't it. And it has, I've noticed that the Skin Fix products, because they don't have any sort of fragrant ingredients whatsoever, they do have almost kind of that kind of crayon scent, but it's not a problem for me. Like I said, it almost felt a little bit waxy on the skin, on my face after I had massaged it in, but there's something in there that just really upsets my skin overall, even down to my neck. I bring it down to my neck, and I randomly got like this, I've been getting little blackheads and little odds and ends, like even on my neck. I started to get them right next to my ear as well, and everything just started to kind of bubble. So this is one that I am going to probably give to a friend with drier skin, see how they feel about it. Okay, so moving on, we have a sunscreen. I've just got one right now. I have another one that's almost done. So this is from By Wishtrend. It's their UV Defense Moist Cream. This is SPF 50+, PA4+. And I don't know why this is not talked about a lot more. It's a fantastic sunscreen. It seemed like it had like maybe 5 minutes of fame when it came out, but I don't see it coming up on people's favorites or repurchases, but this is an absolutely fantastic sunscreen. Maximum protection, 50+, PA4+. It does have a commonly US or Western UV filter, Homo Sali, in it, but other than that, it uses some more common SPF filters that you'd find in Korea and elsewhere around the globe, so it's kind of like a mix of styles, but what that equates to for me is a formula that was a nice lightweight cream that just absorbed beautifully, left a nice soft satin finish, mild glow, not too greasy, not mattifying. It was just perfect for me. It helped to actually knock down some sweatiness and oiliness when I would reapply it throughout the day, and I felt like it provided plenty of protection as long as I wasn't in water or like doing a high amount of activity. I could get by going out, running errands, getting a little sweaty around the, around the hairline, doing a mild hike, a light hike, but certainly not pouring sweat. I could feel it running once I got to that stage. So this is an excellent everyday, just general bopping around day-to-day sunscreen. It also has, I believe it's got a little bit of panthenol in it. It's got some chamomile in it. I believe there's some green tea hiding in here somewhere too, green tea leaf extract. So there is a little bit of benefit to be seen from an antioxidant, soothing, hydrating benefit. But for me, it was just a nice, lightweight, no muss, no fuss, no white cast, no greasiness, just great daily sunscreen. And I will say this is my favorite Korean sunscreen, or possibly my favorite sunscreen that I've ever used, even in comparison to some of those older ones that were reformulated. So some of everybody's old favorites from a few years ago, the Claire's, the Purito. I think even back then, this would still be really good. So yeah, I bought a pack of 3 of these from Wish Trend as soon as I ran out, because I was like, this is my favorite sunscreen that I've used thus far. So I'm absolutely going to be coming back to this one. I don't know why it doesn't get more like universal love. It's just good. It's great. It's better than good. It's great. So absolutely love this. Okay, last couple things that we're going to touch on briefly. I have a body product for you, oddly enough. So this is from, I believe it's called Ouai, O-U-A-I, and this is their body cleanser in the St. Bart's scent. It's a pretty straightforward body foaming gel cleanser. Very nice. I got it mainly because I wanted to have a little bit of a luxe experience. We went up to a cabin during the 4th of July. It was actually, we went up to a house on the 4th of July with a bunch of friends, and I was like, I want to bring like all my bougie skincare to put out in the bathroom. So I went and got something like a little fancy body wash that had like a really nice kind of vacation smell, and it did not disappoint. It smells awesome. It's a little fruity, a little musky, a little floral with like some sweetness, kind of cream behind it, like an icing. And so it just is a very, very luxe feeling body cleanser. Plenty of lather, nice and foamy, lasts a nice amount of time. So it was fine. I used it up till it was gone, but it was more of a special occasion purchase for me, a little bit of a splurge. The one thing I will say is I wish it had some kind of AHA or BHA, or maybe a little bit of some sort of exfoliation, because I do tend to need that on my body because of body acne, rough patches, dry patches on the skin. So I like to do some mild exfoliation when I can on the body. And so that was like the one thing that was missing from this, is I wish it had a little bit more of a overall benefit other than smelling good. It's really more about the fragrance here, but it was nice, and I don't mind a nice fragrance on my body. So there's that. And then last things is a few sheet masks. I've got 2 from Face Story, Everyday Acai and Everyday Almond, and then from By Wish Trend, I have the Natural Vitamin 21.5% Enhancing Sheet Mask. So these are the 3 that I used over the past few weeks. I haven't been as obsessed with sheet masking as I normally am. I think just life is a little bit busy right now, so I don't reach for them as often as I normally do. But I do really like these everyday masks from Face Story. I like the sheet mask material. It's not super thick, but also it's not like paper thin. I like it to hold on to some moisture for about 15-20 minutes. But it just depends on the sheet mask. I've used hydrogels, I've used those really thick cottony ones. I used to really like those. So my tastes just kind of change. Right now, I'm not even really looking at sheet masks to do anything more than provide some hydration or hold hydration from other steps in my routine onto the skin. So if I've done like a really nice serum pack, or I just put on a whole bunch of layers of essence, then I'll usually reach for a sheet mask just to hold that to the skin as long as possible. There is kind of that maximum absorption that skin can get to, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, is like how hydrated and just infused and plump can I make my skin in a single sheet masking session. So I love all of these. I will say that I'm I'm a little bit partial to the ingredients formulation in this one because it does have that sea buckthorn water in it. It has that green tea leaf extract in it. It is a really good support ingredients list to your vitamin C. So sometimes if I'm on a whim on a hot day or a morning, I'll do my vitamin C serum, my toner and essence, and then do one of these just for a little antioxidant hit. Very great for fighting free radicals, helping to support your SPF on what it does. So even though I'm honestly not that in love with the mask material here, it's a cellulose, but it's almost feels a little bit kind of itchy is the best way I describe it. It has a little roughness to it. It doesn't scratch, doesn't itch, but it's not as soft and satin and silky as some other products. But I love this formulation. I wish they had this in a serum. I think they make something similar in a moisturizer, but I wish they would just sell this in a serum. But yeah, this is a product that I sometimes use in a series. Like if I'm noticing a lot of hyperpigmentation, or I just want to support my skin with as much antioxidant power as possible. Another reason is just like if I'm feeling like my skin is particularly parched or dry, I'll do like intentionally like 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row of just this product because I really like the serum that's in here. So yeah, that's everything that I've kind of finished or I'm finished with for the month of August going into September. You'll have to let me know if any of these are your favorites, if you've used any of these and they didn't work out for you either. Make sure to leave those in the comments. I'd also love to hear what some of your favorites for the month were or are, and maybe some of what your classic year-round products are that no matter what the month, what the temperature, what the season, they're your go-to. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment in the comments section. You can also follow me if you're into lifestyle stuff, vlogs, crafting over at Single and Placing. I will link that channel in the description. Otherwise, stay glowing and we'll see you next time. Bye.